Welcome back to the shop. I'm Jeff from Today's Craftsman, and I'm standing next to a very tall cherry cabinet. If you follow Green Street Joinery on Instagram, you may remember a job from several years ago underneath a set of stairs, and it was cherry with white doors. And we're going back to that home to build them another piece, and this is it. So the original project was built out of 1.5 inch, solid 1.5 inch cherry. So the cases were 8/4 milled down to 1.5 inch with rabbet joinery, and the doors were 5-piece maple doors that we painted white. They wanted an adjacent piece, so we needed to match the look, but they were looking to save a couple bucks, so we built this a little bit differently. So this from the outside looks just about the same, but this is actually a plywood box with a solid cherry face frame and a 1-piece HDF door. So I'll give you a closer look at how we sort of took that concept and made it a little faster to build so that we could save the client some money. So the case to this cabinet is made up of 3/4 inch veneer core plywood with a cherry veneer. So this is actually a side that'll be up against the wall. So this is not the nice side of the veneer, but you can see here more so than on that side, we have a 3/4 inch solid cherry face frame here, and then this is just plywood. I have an ear on the other side that'll be scribed to the wall. With a typical face frame, we would just do pocket hole, like a pocket hole butt joint. So basically just 2 square pieces butting together. But we wanted to mimic the joinery that we did on the original piece. So we have this rabbet here. So we went 1/2 inch into the sides and the full 1.5 inch. So I guess you could kind of say it's like a haunched joint. So what I did is I built the cabinet. I laid it on its back, and I cut my stiles to length, and then I cut the joinery. So I just did that with a crosscut, not a crosscut sled, but a miter gauge on the dado saw, and then I cut my rails to length, and they're pocket holed together. And then the face frame is joined to the sides with some pocket holes in the top and bottom. And then actually behind these pad outs, I have a pocket hole, and I'm using the Lamello Clam-X. So the little hole to tighten the Clam-X is hidden behind these as well. So there's no visible fasteners connecting this face frame. So it's glued, lamelloed, and pocket screwed. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I was really concerned about this joint here because we're mimicking that solid look. You know, we wanted a really nice joint here, and it came out pretty good. I'd say, you know, all the way to here, it's pretty invisible. You get a little bit of color variation as you get towards the bottom, but any layman walking into this house is not gonna be able to tell that this isn't one piece here. You know, I gave the client the caveat that, you know, we're gonna do our best to get a seamless transition here, but you may see, you know, a small line. So I think it came out pretty good. On the inside, we have these rollouts. So they're gonna use this for shoes. So we have 6 rollouts. These are from Hafele. Just so you know, the floor is wildly out of level here, so we're leaning forward about probably 1.5 inch. Have these rollouts from Hafele, so 5/8 inch solid birch with 1/2 inch bottoms. So they'll be able to fit, you know, a couple pairs of shoes. They have kids, so you can fit maybe 10 pairs of kids' shoes on each of these and a couple pairs for adults. Right now, they have them sort of just piled up. So this will be great for them. We're using the Progressa slides from Salice. You can see that rack and pinion in there. So they're called Progressa because they have this progressive action where you see these are coming out in a fixed sort of way. These don't move independently, they only move in the same synchronized progression. On the original project, we built solid 3/4 inch hard maple drawers, but in this case, it made more sense to actually purchase these. So we got these from Hafele, and we also purchased the doors. So you can see it's flat on the back. This is a solid HDF door from our buddies at New Doors. I'm not closing because we're out of plumb here, but the original door was solid maple here. We actually built a stave core panel because this is such a big door. This is almost 75 inches tall. and the other one was, I think, 30 inches wide. This cabinet is 24 wide. So a bit of a smaller door, but this is just solid HDF, you know, made on a CNC router. You see nice tight corners here, and this is never gonna crack here, and it's a nice stable product, so I'm less concerned with this bowing than I am with hard maple. I think when we built the original project, the first door that we built got a really bad bow to it, so we had to actually replace one of the stiles. Maple has a tendency to really move a lot, so I'm happy that on this one we got to use a one-piece door. We have just a mitered toe kick at the bottom, which will get scribed to the wall on this left-hand side. So our overall dimensions are, I think, 84, so it's 7 feet tall. 84 high, 24 wide, and 18 3/4 deep. 17 3/4 deep. So decent sized cabinet, not huge, but you know, it'll add a lot of storage for the client, and it's gonna match what they have right next to it, but just at a lower price point. And you know, I think that we're able to achieve something that looks just as good as the solid wood, and you know, with a lot less labor, and potentially a lot fewer issues with all of that wood. We went through, I think, 1,000 board feet of cherry on that job, so it was a lot of glue ups, a lot of heavy cabinets, captured 1/2-inch backs, you know, so fully dadoed in. In this instance, we actually have a 1/4 inch back because we don't have a lot of depth, because the doors will actually interfere with one another if we go too deep. So we maxed out the depth to get some 15-inch rollouts in there. We'll be installing this next week, so if you're interested in seeing it, tune in to both the Green Street Joinery Instagram. We'll make sure to put something up on Today's Craftsman as well. If you have any questions about how we built this cabinet, leave them down below. See you next week.